G'day humans, Chris Stead here. I'm on the road and today I'm at Gusti Ngurah Rai Airport. Known to most of us Aussies as Denpasar Airport on the island of Bali in Indonesia. And this is where you're going to come through whenever you're leaving Indo and going somewhere else in the world, or Bali anyway. So in this video, I'm going to give a tour of what the airport offers, just so you can see what you need is here, and just also to get an idea of what to expect before you land here and get into the hustle and bustle of trying to get on your plane. Let's go. Okay, so I'm here at about 7:45 at the moment, at night, which is probably peak hour for this joint, I reckon, because, well, especially for Australians, most of the flights, a lot of the flights are red eyes overnight, so a lot of planes leave at night, and, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So this is going to come up the ramp, so you'll note straight away there is trolleys readily available, and there's about 3 lanes of drop off here. It's not a very long terminal, you can see the end of it all the way down there. So you're going to have to kind of try and work out, which gate's the one with your plane, and you'll be sweet. Now, one of the things that's happened recently, I'd say in the last, maybe early 2025, something like that, is they've installed these buildings over here. So you can see Bali Banana, money changer, but also a mini mart style thing down there. I can't see the exact name of it. Now this is good because, well, it's kind of good. So previously, if you were here and you wanted to eat, you had to eat inside. It's extremely expensive. Now I did try and walk once out onto the street to try and find some cheap food for the kids because we're stuck here for hours. I think we're stuck here for 5 hours or something. And there's not really a way out of here on foot very easily. It's all fenced in and convoluted. So they've moved some of the kind of stuff that people might try and walk to up here into the terminal, but the costs are not the same as they are out in the street. So it's kind of good that they're here. It gives you another option. That's a little bit, a bit more affordable, but it's still not as good as kind of just walking into a Circle K or whatever. All right, let's head in. They've also, in reasonably recent years, done this airport up quite nicely. It's probably a while ago now, actually, but big, open, architecturally interesting to look at, well lit. So the arrivals are down there. I'll do a separate video on arrivals at some point. But that's interesting now with all the visa on arrival stuff and the arrival card you got to do. But it's actually pretty straightforward, don't let it speak out. So I actually quite like the design of it. Now the only problem with the design of it is it could get quite humid in here. There's not really the first part of the inside is actually the outside. Now right now actually it's really mild, very surprising. But I've been here and it's been super muggy and really uncomfortable. So once you get through into through checkout, through security, you get into the air-conditioned area inside and it's a lot more palatable. But once you go in there, then you're kind of hamstrung with what you can do with food and so forth, and you got to get rid of all your waters and so forth. So yeah, just something to be conscious of. Now I'm just going to show you through here. So this is on when you come in the very far left side, other than the big toilets. This area over here, I don't know if it's actually a secret area. I like to call it a secret area, but I don't think it is. But I only say that because I don't think too many people are aware of it, because it's always quite empty. But this is kind of the only place where you can get nice benches that you can kind of just lie on, like that dude is, and kind of repack your bags or whatever. There's a whole empty bench at the top there, plus you get these changing rooms. So since they're late checkouts, frequently you might be coming straight from the resort, in whatever you were swimming in and so forth, and then trying to get into something that's a bit more plane suitable, and then, or for the climate that you're arriving home to. So there's a little space here, it's just worth knowing about. Okay. So I'll just take you on a bit of a loop through around here so you can just kind of get an idea of the options available to you. So this is obviously before you go through check-in, before you go through security. Got some fresh juices. 2 dragons. This is actually probably the most the old WH Smith. It's in every airport in the world, it seems. So just over here, you got this travel to go place, which also has some food options on the side. Probably one of the more affordable places to get some food in here. They do like sandwiches. It's like, you know, they can see a sandwich and chips there for 95,000, which is about $8 or $9 Australian. What's a burger? A burger with fries and lemon tea, 145, so $14.50 Australia. Oh, it's probably a bit less than that, like $12. So, not that bad by Australian standards, but you know, obviously on the streets of Bali you can get a fair bit cheaper. You can get, you know, your mee goreng for 25,000. Asian street cooking over here. So that's obviously departures A and B. You've got C, D and E down here. So once you go through there, it's more of your classic check-in. I'll show you in a sec. Sancha milk tea, 2 dragons. Look at some of the prices here. You know, it's a main, butter chicken main is 160. Wok it your way for 159. Light bites. Can't quite read it in this light, but yeah. Yeah, bottled beer. It's super dry, so it's 90. There's an information booth here. It's not always manned, but it's manned today, which is good. So that's a handy thing to know where that is, in case you need to find something in a real hurry. Which happens to all of us at airports. Coffee club. And over here we've got some tourist shops. So Bali Living. It's been pumping beats actually, Bali Living. I see a price for a coffee. Let's have a look at these sandwiches. Hello. That's 75,000 for the bacon and egg muffin. 129,000 for a quiche. Oh, not today, thank you. So not too bad. Like, it's not too bad. If you hadn't been outside and seen the prices outside, you'd be like, sweet, this is super cheap. Nasi goreng 139, for example. It's 39 out in the street. Alright, high tide bar, if you want to get some booze. Got some sport. We've got draft bintang there. One last bintang before you go. You never have too many. Now just show you what's on this side. So I told you my so-called secret spot before. I can't remember if it's on both sides or not. It's been a while since it's been on this side. So have a look. Yeah, okay, looks like they've done this side up the same way now. There used to be lockers. They've got rid of the lockers. We've got some fans over here as well, which can be super helpful in those hot days, like I said. Okay, let's go back to departures. Okay, here we are back at the departure gates, or the Archer gates, currently. So once you walk through these doors, you're starting into more of the aircon space. You'll see, so I've got some unpacking desks here, which get frequently used. A lot of people getting, the Indonesians are a lot more likely to check your carry-on weight, I've noticed, than elsewhere.
Make sure all of you have your boarding pass.
Okay, so more check-in counters down there. That's E, so we're going to take you to E. I actually never had to go down there before, it's always been in this area. Right, so just classic check-in, like no surprises, exactly what you'd expect. I will say that if you've been watching my channel and you've seen our vlog series where we spent 60 days taking the kids through Southeast Asia, which I hope you have watched. You'll remember some of these areas from my video where we arrived at the airport and realised we'd bought plane tickets for the wrong day. We're sitting right on the floor in here working out how the hell we were going to get to Hanoi. Anyway, it's a cool building really. I do like the shape of it. It does feel modern. I have memories of being here you know, like 7, 8, 9 years ago, and it was just super sweaty and old. Maybe I got the airports mixed up. Alright, so from here you pretty much got security. So behind this wall is where I can't film, and that's where you're going to go through into the other side. So let's go through security and I'll show you what to expect on the other side of departures. Okay, so we're on the other side. It's quite a quick check through actually. It took me probably 5 minutes I reckon. 3 different stages. Scan your boarding pass, get your x-ray, your bags all done, and then this last little bit where you scan your passport and there you go. Got it down pat actually. Alright, let's walk deeper into the terminal. Starting with shock horror, duty free. It's a little story. The last time we turned up here, we were going to Sydney via Melbourne because that's what we could get on points, with all the kids in tow. And then we turned up at the counter to check in and they said, "Are you the people going to Sydney via Melbourne?" We're like, yeah. How do you want to go directly through to Sydney? We're like, that'd be sick. And then there was like a plane leaving 40 minutes earlier and we just got there in the nick of time and they ran us through here to get to the plane. So that was a win. Okay, let's get through this. Marnie, Mont Blanc. So they do have it set up like a maze, which when you're running for a plane like we were last time, just make it unnecessarily challenging. They say leave 3 hours to get to the airport. It's because you've got to walk through 2.5 hours of shops. Slight exaggeration, mate. But yeah, a whole bunch of designer stuff, which kind of, I don't know, seems strange to me. Like, so many clothes shops in Bali that you can come here and get your stuff from. Below sky buffet over here. Some more food. Right. I've got some little trinkets from here before. Spent the rest of the money. I'll let the kids just go rampant. Get a bunch of little bits left with our last local dollaroos. We've got time to do it. All the way around here there's just eateries. There's the sushi bar, garlic and salt. You'd hope they serve something more than that. Old mate, WH Smith's. Now you'll notice up on the second floor here is where you're going to find your lounges. And I think this one up here, Tujuan Lounge, I think that's the one that Qantas uses here. Might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Now you can see the stairs over here, get you up there. You can see what I mean here, right? So now it's curving back towards where we just came from. It would be nice if they just allowed some way to cut through, or maybe they haven't, I haven't found it yet, but it's a lot of unnecessary running when you're really late for a plane. But you can cut through there actually. I'll go the rest of the way, but you can cut through there. They'll let you. Let's have a look at some of the food on this side. Good. 72, 65,000 for some muffins. Sandwiches in here. Pretty pricey. Pulled pork, 145,000. About $13 Australian. What are you going to do? Bit of billabong? Still big somewhere. Alright. Calvin Klein Victoria's Secret, they haven't missed. And then a bit more Bali duty free down the end here. Right, now once you get down the back, which we are just now, you're kind of getting to where the kind of terminals start to go both ways. So obviously make sure you know which way you need to turn. There's a long way down there. Long way. It's a hike. And this way, it's not that bad. Okay, well I think that's giving you a pretty good idea of what to expect. I mean, as you head down that way, you just come across more or less more of the same on repeat. But this is Yogurt Republic. Yogurt slushies. Doesn't sound massively appealing. Charging ports can be hard to come by, so beware of that. I don't know if you saw there was the charging ports when we first walked into the airport and I showed you that little spot, the little secret area that had some charging spots there, but otherwise there's not too much. And they tend, as they're doing it now, let's have a look, to do a second audit of your bag and then take any water you bought on this side off you. Let's see if they're doing that again at the moment. No, I was right, it is this airport, check it out. So Qantas, if you're on a Qantas flight, they do a second check. I think it's with Jetstar as well. It is with Jetstar as well. So they'll catch you out because it caught us out. So basically you come through the first security check, they make you tip out all your water. You go to a shop, buy more water because you need water on your Jetstar flight because it's a Jetstar flight. And then you go to get through onto the actual lounge part of your check-in gate, and then they say, no, you got to tip your water out again. So be watchful of that. It's really crap. Thought I'd just mention as well, down this kind of when you walk straight in the right side of the terminal, so not the long side, the short side, you see the baby changing rooms there. Some toilets that are very busy. These ones tend to be the most busy, I think. There's also here the Jasmine Spa. So if you want to sneak in one last massage, that's the place to go. Righto guys, there you have it. That's a bit of a tour of the Denpasar Airport. Hope that was of use to you. Just give you a little bit of a forewarning of what to expect before you depart Bali after your amazing time at whatever resort you managed to land in. Look, a modern airport. Well, once you get inside here, the climate's fine. Lots of shops, not many seats. But yeah, overall it's a pretty good airport, but you can get quite busy at night. Alright, Chris Dead, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'll check you later.